meeting is now being live streamed. And since this is a purely online meeting, usually we have hybrid meetings. The protocols for online meetings apply, which is that you're all encouraged to turn your screens on and your microphones off. And do not speak or write in the chat box until it is your turn to speak or write. We also discourage crosstalk during speeches or during presentations unless the speaker asks for it, especially on the Zoom chat. That said, we do not believe in disabling the Zoom chat for participants, but we encourage that any speaker, whatever role they're doing, should be given due space. So with that, I hand over the charge to our president, Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba.
Good evening, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Toastmasters is a public speaking platform where people from different walks of life come together to improve their public speaking as well as leadership skills. It was founded back in 1924 by Ralph C. Smedley in Englewood, Colorado. And it has more than 300,000 members worldwide, situated in more than 200 to 250 sorry, it has more than 300,000 members worldwide, situated in more than, I suppose, 200 to 2,000 clubs worldwide, if I correct, if my statistics are correct. And it has 17,000 clubs. Okay, sorry, 17,000 clubs worldwide. So that makes it, sorry, I'll say it again. Toastmasters has more than 300,000 members worldwide, situated in more than 17,000 clubs worldwide. Do we have any announcements to make, DTM Talha? Any important announcements?
Nothing in particular, because uh, just that the next meeting will take place at the same time, but on Saturday. And after that, the week after that, on April 8th, I believe, April 8th, just a second. Yeah, on April 8th, the meeting will take place at 11 a.m. and it will be a joint meeting with Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club. So that's pretty much the only announcement. Over to you.
Okay. And since I spot two new faces, guest Hannah, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning for you, sir. I'm Hannah. I'm from Namibia, very far away from you. And I think I've got an email or a WhatsApp group number to join this meeting or be invited to this meeting. So I'm looking forward. But unfortunately, I can't stay very long. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And guest Ali Reyes, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Aviraz and I live in Karachi. So I just saw your poster in Facebook. So I just wanted to join and wanted to know the relationship of the AI and the languages. So that's why I'm joining. And this is my first meeting in Toastmaster and
Okay. And now I'd be introducing the Toastmaster of the day.
All right. Let's improvise a bit. Toastmaster Daniel Tariq, would you like to be Toastmaster of the day? All right. Let me be the Toastmaster of the day, because we don't have much ground to cover today. So let's get through it quickly. Is that okay, Madam President?
Yes.
All right. So as we all know, there are three segments to a Toastmasters meeting. The first is the prepared speeches, the second is the table topics, and the third is the evaluation. Uh, Today, right now, we just have one prepared speech, which is actually a kind of a workshop or a presentation around which the theme of the meeting revolves. As for the role of grammarian, I will be playing the role of grammarian and wordmaster. So as a grammarian and wordmaster, my role will be to look for good usage of English and to also identify mistakes in the usage of English language and point out corrections. Word of the day is actually a phrase today, and the phrase is paradigm shift. So everyone is encouraged to use the phrase paradigm shift. Paradigm shift means paradigm is the framework of reality. It is uh, the conventions by which we live, and shift means a change. So just like in the internet brought a paradigm shift, the printing press brought a paradigm shift, everything changed. And of course, a lot of other technologies brought paradigm shifts in their respective fields. Smartphones brought a paradigm shift. So today we are seeing that artificial intelligence is also bringing a paradigm shift. It has been here for years, in fact decades, but now it is really coming in onto its own. So this will be the word of the day. As for the timer, I think yeah, I for the timer we will. Madam President, can you do the addition role of the timer or Toastmaster Rabia? Is it possible? You're muted.
I don't think I can change the background. I'll find something. Let
All
me
right.
find green red.
All right, fine. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So starting with the and we do have other role players, but they haven't joined yet. So when they will join, they will start doing their roles. We had so Toastmaster Rabia, you can do away right now with the R counter role, and perhaps it won't be fair for you to for us to ask you to do the R counter. So instead, just do the timing role, and I'll try to cover the R counter role during my grammarian spell. Is that okay?
Okay, without getting up, I just found three things. Are they okay for the timer? Red
Yes.
and green and yellow.
Yeah, they seem fine. Just bring them really close to the camera when you wish to indicate.
Yep. Okay. Done.
All right. So jumping into the prepared speeches, the first speech is kind of a workshop as stated. Its title is How to Enhance Your English Through Artificial Intelligence. And it will be
Lady Timtala, you've forgotten to introduce the listener and the joke master.
All right. Thank you so much. First of all, listener has not joined yet. He is Toastmaster Azaz Memon. A listener's role is to listen during the meeting and pick up interesting phrases, words, facts, and then do a quiz for the audience at the very end to test their listening tests. As for the joke master, the role is self-evident. It doesn't need to be explained. Instead, I will just invite our resident joke master, Toastmaster Hiba Khan, to carry out the role. Over to you, Toastmaster Hiba.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what did the man with the broken leg tell his Valentine? What did the man with the broken leg tell his Valentine?
I've fallen for you.
I have a crutch on you. Okay. What did the pie say to its sweetheart? What did the pie say to its sweetheart? You look radiant today. What do you call a cucumber who can sing? What do you call a cucumber who can sing? Shakira. Why don't churches have Wi-Fi? Why don't churches have Wi-Fi? They can't compete with an invisible force that actually works. This is in Urdu. So here it goes. इस दुनिया में एक पान वाला है. इस दुनिया में एक पान वाला ही सच्चा इंसान है जो पूछकर चूना लगाता है. What do you call a priest that becomes a lawyer? What do you call a priest that becomes a lawyer? A father-in-law. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now starting with our session, and just give me a second. Just give me a second. All right. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, improving English. Since English is not our native language, but at the same time, it is what can rightly be regarded as the language of the world. And yes, there are other contenders for this. My intent is not to be discriminatory or racist here. It is just that the English is the most widely understood language. It can be understood pretty much everywhere in the world. There are other contenders, for example, Mandarin Chinese, which technically more people speak. Latin, the Italian and Portuguese languages, which are also spoken by a huge portion of the world's population. Then there is the Urdu/Hindi. If you talk about the spoken version, Urdu/Hindi is also spoken by more than, by about 2 billion people on this planet. Because if you count the population of India and add to that the population of Pakistan and the population of Bangladesh and other countries where Urdu/Hindi is at least understood, if not spoken. So that makes up for almost 2 billion. Similarly, the Latino languages, Italian, Portuguese, and they are also spoken by a huge number of people. But English is one language which connects everyone. Just like in Pakistan, we have Urdu, which connects everyone. In Pakistan, there are dozens of languages spoken, Punjabi and Pashto and Saraiki and Brahvi and Balochi and Kashmiri and Sindhi. And each of those languages have different dialects. And so that makes up for dozens and dozens of variations. But Urdu is one language that connects everyone, that is understood and spoken and read by everyone. So similarly, the status that Urdu has in Pakistan and even in the subcontinent, because remember, Hindi is closely related to Urdu and they sound very similar. Urdu takes up a lot of words from Hindi. It does take from Arabic and Persian as well. The status that Urdu has in the subcontinent, English has on the planet. Now, before we start into how we can improve English through artificial intelligence, um, let me first go through some of the conventional methods through which English can be improved. Because as Toastmasters, this is the number one question that we receive all the time. We want to improve our English. We want to improve our English. And Toastmasters is a platform for communication skills. It is not an English improvement platform per se. It is not designed to give you an overnight expertise in English language. It is designed to give you an overnight expertise in communication skills, and that can be in any language. Uh, but most of the clubs in Pakistan and around the world are in English, and anyone who joins Toastmasters, including myself, also has a desire to improve their English speaking and comprehension. Some of the conventional methods are, the first method is, of course, reading. There is no replacing reading, no matter what. Yes, there are other mediums, there are movies, there are TV shows, there are news channels. And if you ask someone that how can I improve my English, they will hesitate before saying reading. They will instead say that, oh, watch English movies with subtitles or watch news channels. They will hesitate because they know that most people do not read. But this is the good news slash bad news. Reading is the only surefire way to improve your English or any other language, right? So if you don't have a reading habit, please develop one now. You don't have to read business books. You don't have to read technical books. You don't have to read self-help or motivational books or bios. You can read anything that you like. Because if you won't read something that you like, you will not learn the language. You will only learn the language when you read or see or watch something that you like. And secondly, movies with subtitles, TV shows, and newscasts, CNN or BBC newscasts, they are a great help in understanding the usage of English, right? But the language itself, the grammar, that can only be learned through reading. That is the foundation. And after that, how to deliver it, how to say it, how to add inflections and expressions to your spoken English, that is what you can learn from the visual mediums, such as movies and newscasts. Now, how does artificial intelligence help you improve your English? This is something very interesting, and it is something that I came across a few days ago. People are doing it all over the world. They are using artificial intelligence to uh, generate content, for example. One use of ChatGPT and other such devices is that they can get you started. They will not write something for you, because if they write something for you, it will not be written by you. But what it can do is that it can give you a starting ground. For example, a few days ago, I had to make a presentation, a short presentation on the role of risk management for boards of directors in according to Pakistani law. Now, in the olden times, before November 2022, I would have opened up the company's ordinance and, the Companies Act and the Code of Corporate Governance and other such laws. I will open up the PDFs and search for the word risk management in that. Because then I would copy and paste them somewhere. I would have a pretty good database of whenever risk management is mentioned in those laws. And then I would see that how do they link to the board of directors? And then I would create a list. So yes, even before ChatGPT and AI, we did have quite a few devices. But what could you do when ChatGPT came? I simply typed into it, that what does Pakistani corporate law say about the director's responsibilities regarding risk management? That was the prompt. And it gave me in a minute all the relevant provisions from Companies Act to Code of Corporate Governance to SECP regulations to everything. And what's more, if I felt that something was wrong or something could use more expansion, I would just type in that, okay, could you explain the third point further and could you provide more references? So with that, even that, it did. So AI not only gives you data, it can answer your questions, it can add to your understanding, it can add depth to your understanding. Now, what are some of the pitfalls of AI? And they are very, very important to learn because we should not become 100% dependent on artificial intelligence. Some of the pitfalls of AI are that its answers are not 100% correct. Remember, it's a learning model, language model based on the human way of thinking. And sometimes when we are asked a tough question, what do? We are very hesitant to say that, oh, we don't know, we'll have to look it up. Rather, we try to cook something up. In other words, what is called a tukka. And AI has learned to do that because it is being modeled on human behavior in human language. So ChatGPT and other such platforms sometimes will provide wrong answers just because they don't know something. So that is why everything that is generated by AI should be fact checked. It is not guaranteed to be correct. And this is where it differs from Google, because when you Google search or use any other search engine, not only does it give you results, but it also gives you a good indication of the authenticity of those results, that how can you check or what are the sources. But ChatGPT does not give you any sources, or uh, even if it does so in a very vague way, that it says that I'm not allowed to disclose my sources or I'm not allowed to link, but uh, I've used this, and this for my information. Secondly, ChatGPT and other platforms are not updated. ChatGPT, if I'm correct, goes up to 2021 maybe. I don't know if GPT-4 has updated it or not. But luckily, none of that applies to what we are going to do today, because it is all about English language. Now, let me give you some demos, because this is intended to be kind of a workshop. It's not a lecture. So let me share my screen. So can everyone see my screen? All right. So let's start by testing it out. For example, what is the description of an ah counter in a Toastmasters meeting? You see, not only it picked up from the Toastmasters material, but it also gave examples of what are the filler words. And furthermore, what can it do? Okay. Now let's start its language. Let's start testing its language capabilities, right? For example, I write a story. Once upon a time. So what I'll do is I'll first write improve this. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. Now, the participants, please speak up and add sentences to this story.
She was a very naughty girl.
Okay. Okay. Anyone who would like to add? You can also use Zoom chat. Heba, would you like to add to this story? Toastmaster Heba, would you like to add to this story?
Toastmaster Imran wanted to.
Yeah.
She had long hair.
Okay. She had long hair. All right. Our guest, Ali Riaz, would you like to add to this story?
Mm, She was poor and lost her father.
Sorry, she was?
Poor and lost her
Oh,
father.
okay. Okay. So we have a potential winner of international speech contest right here with us. So already introducing tragedy into the story. All right, great. Toastmaster Imran Rana, your contribution. Okay, your contribution is she always misses her Toastmasters meeting. Is that it? Okay. Okay. She was clumsy and always missed her Toastmasters meeting. Okay. All right. So we are leaving the errors as they are. Toastmaster Daniel, would you like to add to it? All right. Toastmaster Wahid Baksh, would you like to add to this story? Okay. So let's come back to the. Okay, we have a guest, Manur Samo. Guest Manur, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Can you see the screen also?
Yeah, I can see.
All right. Would you like to add to this story that we are writing together? Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was a very naughty girl. She had long hair. She was poor and lost her father. She was clumsy and always missed her Toastmasters meeting. Would you like to add to this story? One sentence. Add anything. Just think of anything.
Sorry.
All right. No worries. Okay. Uh,
Can I add something? Sorry.
yes. Yes, Daniel. Please do. Please do.
I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm at the library, so I couldn't do it.
Oh.
So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So she was clumsy. Always misses her Toastmasters meeting. Yeah, she try. She she was feeling guilty about it, but didn't know how she can improve her habit of not missing her Toastmaster meeting. And I think that's enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Toastmaster Rabia, back to you.
Okay, we are continuing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So my naughty girl is somewhere lost in here, I think, because you all made her a very good girl now.
No.
Okay.
No. You can continue with the
Improve her
naughtiness.
habit of missing. She was a PA, but it did not know how to improve her habit of missing the Toastmasters meeting. So she asked the few of the active members of the group to give her a wake up call whenever the meeting is being held.
Okay. To give her a wake up call whenever the meeting was held. All right. Toastmaster Heba, your contribution. What should come next? Hello, Toastmaster Heba.
I'm thinking she asked a few members of the group to give her a wake-up call whenever the meeting was held.
You can also go beyond Toastmasters, like this meet doesn't have to be about Toastmasters. You can cover other aspects of her life as
Okay. Apart from Toastmasters, she was always active in sports.
okay. All right. So, okay, Toastmaster Imran, what happens next? Now we should bring it to a conclusion rather than leave it open-ended. So, what's your contribution? Are you saying something, Imran?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Actually, I was away, so I had no idea where the story reached.
Okay,
So
so you can see, you can look at the screen. You can look at the screen.
just a minute.
Yeah.
Could you please read out?
Okay. Okay. So after what we covered last time, she was feeling guilty about it, but didn't know how to improve her habit of missing the Toastmasters meeting. She asked a few active members of the group to give her a wake-up call whenever the meeting was held. Apart from Toastmasters, she was always active in sports.
So so she quit Toastmasters and continue her sports activity.
All right. Continued her sports activities. Okay. Guest Ali Reyes, would you like to contribute?
So
Maybe
one day, a
bring,
fairy
bring it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm getting a closing point that one day a fairy tale came to her,
One day.
and one day a fairy tale,
Yeah.
one day a fairy tale came to her and
Hmm.
asked a girl how I can resolve your issues. So the girl mentioned that she is missing her classes and she want to improve her English language skill. So the fairy tale basically maybe fulfill her wishes and resolve her issues. So at the end of the day, that she can live a happily life, that her problem will be resolved.
Okay. Okay. That she would help her resolve this issue so she could live a happy life. All right. All right. So now we have a story, as you can see, and I already typed that improve this. Okay. So just if you have written something, you can copy and paste this, and before that write improve this or correct its grammar, whatever. Now we push on the enter button and let's see what happens. It is generating in real time a better version of the story. Are you all seeing this? Now, if we read it, once upon a time, there was a little girl who had long hair and was known for her mischievous nature. Unfortunately, she had lost her father and was struggling to cope with the loss. In addition to this, she was also a member of a Toastmasters group, but was constantly missing their meetings due to her clumsiness. Despite feeling guilty about missing the meeting, the little girl did not know how to improve her habit of being late. She decided to seek help from some of the active members of the group and asked them to give her a wake-up call whenever the meeting was held. However, her commitment to the group was not strong, and she eventually quit the group altogether. Although Toastmasters was no longer a part of her life, the little girl was still active in sports. Once day, a fairy appeared to her and asked her what her troubles were. The little girl confided in the fairy, telling her that she felt guilty about missing her classes. Moved by her sincerity, the fairy promised to help her resolve her issues so that she could live a happy and fulfilling life. With the fairy's help, the little girl discovered a newfound dedication to her goals and was able to overcome her tendency to be late for events. She realized that by prioritizing her commitments, she could achieve the success she had always dreamed of. So, everyone, what do you think? Just share your feedback. It not only corrected the language, could you see that? It added parts to the story. Yes, that's the
This
right word. Gobsmacked. So am I. Like right now, I am gobsmacked as well. It was a story crafted by 5 or 6 different people with absolutely no target, and it turned it into a coordinated story that made some sense. So, anyone, what are your comments? Anyone else? And of course, it's grammatically correct.
Chat GPT 1.
Yeah.
you have given
So,
us a way to write our speeches.
yes, but it doesn't end there. This is only the start. Let me show you something. Let us ask, can you tell us the reason behind the changes that you now us Pakistanis will stop at this. All right. We will just say, okay, we've got a story written for us, or our text has been improved, and let's go ahead and use it. Because that's what Pakistanis are about. Just taking and taking and taking things for granted without really putting our minds to anything. Unfortunately, that's true. And that is why this next part is unfamiliar to all of us. And it is, I'm asking it, can you tell us the reason behind the changes that you made? And this is how you can use the chat GPT as a learning tool, not only in language, but in anything else. Now, it's already written 4 paras about why it made the changes. Certainly, first I expanded the initial sentence to provide more context and background information about the little girl and her situation. I also changed the sentence structure and choice of words to make it more engaging for the reader. Next, I removed the repetitive sentence about the little girl always missing her Toastmasters meeting and replaced it with a statement about her struggling to cope with the loss of her father. Now, isn't this scary? It fixed a logical disconnection and thought of something that could make the logical connection. Can you see it? When we wrote the story, we left it open-ended that she was poor and had lost her father. It had no consequences. But ChatGPT made this story all about her loss, and it connected the act of missing the Toastmasters meetings with the loss of her father. So, okay, this change helps to add depth to her character and provide the reason for her behavior. Now, this is something that is extraordinary. I actually thought of this. None of us thought about it, right? It was not this idea was not given by any of us. I then revised the paragraph to show that the little girl sought help from active members of the Toastmasters group and asked them to give her a wake-up call. I also added a sentence to show that the little girl was still active in sports, which adds another dimension to her character and suggests that she has other interests outside of her Toastmasters. And see, this is where it gets our thinking that at this point I had asked that add something that is outside of Toastmasters. Let's demonstrate that she has a life outside Toastmasters, and it recognized it. It says, which adds another dimension to her character and suggests that she has other interests outside of Toastmasters. Finally, I rewrote the ending to make it more coherent and tie the story together because our story did not have an ending. I added a touch of fantasy by introducing a fairy and included a more positive. Now, this is where it is lying. See, we got a lie right here. It did not introduce the fairy. We did. Can you see this? I added a touch of fantasy by introducing a fairy. It is lying here because It was introduced by a guest, Ali Riaz. The fairy was not introduced by ChatGPT, and yet it is taking credit for it. And included a more positive outcome for that little girl, where she overcomes her issues and discovers a newfound dedication to her goals. Okay, now let's do one last thing with this. Can you revise the story as it would be told to a 10-year-old? So now it is tailoring the story in terms of language to a 10-year-old. Now, I will not read it. I'll ask all of you to read it. It's the same story, but it's written for a 10-year-old. It has revised a lot of words, made them simple. And it doesn't go into much emotional depth. It doesn't add much background to keep things simple. Yes, yes, Toastmaster Rabia, I'm seeing it. So, in this short session, we saw the grammatical prowess of ChatGPT. It completely transformed the grammar and drafting. It turned it into an absorbing story. In fact, if you read it, it draws you in, even though you know what will happen in the story because we wrote it. Even then, it is attractive. So, and we also caught it in a lie in such short time, which is amazing. I did
Can
not
we,
expect that. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I'm interrupting. Can we ask ChatGPT why that
Yeah.
we mentioned the
Okay.
fairy tale?
Yeah. Let's ask him. But it has been known to turn violent also. It starts blaming the user. So let's see. But no, not ChatGPT, other chatbots. Introduce the fairy in this story. It was I who did it. What do you say about that?
Maybe introducing the theory is not in a different sense.
Which sense? Okay, when you gave the reason for changes, but you said that you introduced the fairy, but in fact, it was I who did it. What do you say about that? Okay, let's ask it that. Let's see what it comes. You're absolutely right. My apologies for the mistake. I see now that you did indeed introduce a fairy in the original story. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. In the revised version, I simply expanded on the fairy's role and added more detail enough to provide uh, to provide a more satisfying conclusion. Once again, thank you for pointing out my error, and I hope the revised version I provided earlier meets. Now, I almost feel a need to make it feel better. I don't know why. It is great of you to accept your mistake. The revisions you made were excellent. So see, now what I did, I took it back to an earlier output, right? It was not the immediate output because we asked it how you write it for a 10-year-old. But then I forced it to think back to 2 paras earlier, and it did that perfectly well. Okay, so that was dramatic. So with that, we bring this short workshop to an end. As you saw, only the sky is the limit as how can we use it. And the better your prompts are, the better your questions are, the more value you'll be able to extract out of it. So with that, it's a 10-minute question answer session. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions, but this was, I know people must be getting inspired by it, but I'm getting scared that this is.
Yes, it is scary. In fact, what scares me is the way it lied about introducing the fairy. I mean, it was so easy and effortless. It just said that I also introduce a fairy. I mean, seriously, have you got no conscience? But then, yes, it does not have a
It does not
conscience.
have a conscience, and it is improvising in real time. So
And
just
yes,
imagine if you're making a conversation with me and I have a chat GPT on here,
yeah,
I'll just write down your question and I'll get the answer and I can read them right there and there. I do not need to do my preparation beforehand. It's really is scary.
yes, it is scary. But you know what? It is a threat. It is a threat for people who are already doing mediocre work. They're already generating content by copying things from here and there, or they're relying on others to write things for them. It is bad news for them. But people who actually think while doing their work, no matter what it is, while writing, while creating something, uh, it will be a great help to them. We will. There's no getting around this, that we'll all have to upgrade us. We'll have to, become better at whatever we do, so that we can keep ourselves a superior option to chat GPT in whatever we do. And we should keep asking ourselves that whatever we are doing, can chat GPT do it better? If it can, then we need to polish up our skills. We already, in this short demo, we already saw all the amazing capabilities and the flaws of chat GPT and artificial intelligence. So, the one thing that we can start doing is being completely honest about our work. We have this tendency, and it is common within our nation, that we tend to steal other people's intellectual property, whether it is piracy, whether it is stealing someone else's ideas. And we've been in so many speech contests, right? And repeatedly, despite the fact that we've been uh, lecturing against non-originality for years now, still people try to get away with it. Still to this day, people try to get away with it. And they're saying that if the judges don't catch us, everything will be fine. But what they don't realize is that this is not what this is about. It is not about judges not catching you. It is about you winning something based on your ideas. And unfortunately, eh, as far as we are concerned as a nation, there's no boundary between our ideas and the others' ideas. We feel free to steal ideas from others. Everything from the writings that we do, to the speeches that we do, to the content that we create on YouTube and other social media, to the designs that we make for our products, to the PhD thesis that we write, to the presentation that I've seen in the Institute of Mechanical Engineers made by the young engineers. Hardly any of it is original. I mean, most of it is copied from somewhere or inspired from somewhere. And this is why we are where we are. I mean, we can blame our ills on a lot of other things, and those blames would be correct. But this is one thing that we need to improve, because in a world where there are more than 180 countries and thousands of nations, you need something to stand out. And by copying others, that is not a way to stand out. So I believe if there are no questions, we can move on to the next session.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing regarding this topic, that yes, it is a paradigm shift in the current existing environment, but I would like to tell you that every opportunity create every basically changes, or maybe industrial revolution create a lot of opportunity. Like in past, that the computers, mobile phones, internet, all of brings a lot of opportunity as well but they have a dark side, as you already mentioned. If you're not using your brain, if you're not using your creativity, you cannot compete with the existing technology. So maybe that it will maybe a dark side, or maybe scary to from scary all of these technology to you. But if you improving yourself, and it will maybe set a new benchmark that you have to set according of our education system change all of these things according to our new technology. So this will set a new benchmark to maybe sustain or survive. If you're not fulfill that benchmark, that I think it will create a lot of difficulties and hurdles in your future.
Yes, I think that's beautifully put, guest Ali Riaz. And yes, it is scary, but it also is an opportunity. And that's exactly what I said as well, that if you're a creative person, it gives you endless opportunities. It is, yes, a paradigm shift, but it is a good kind of paradigm shift where you can actually stop worrying about doing the basic work and starting from scratch every time you do something, and just concentrate on adding value to everything. I will give another example. In our times, examinations used to be a test of memory, and memory was considered a skill that, the more you can remember, the better you will do at exams. And uh, what if someone did not have a good memory, but he was intelligent? So now there's a paradigm shift in that too. Many examinations are moving to open book tests, where you're not supposed to remember things, rather you're supposed to think before passing an exam. And especially in our profession, the chartered accountancy, most exams are now open book. And the result is that the examinations, the questions have gotten tougher, right? Previously, for example, there would be a question about corporate law, that what does clause XYZ say about directors' responsibilities? But now, since that ordinance or that law is open before you, the question will be upgraded and it will become a case study. So this is a golden opportunity for all of us to upgrade ourselves, upgrade our skills, and upgrade our output as well. Because if I'm writing a speech, as Toastmaster Rabia said, if I'm writing a speech, there's no harm in asking Chat GPT to write a speech. Why not? But it will be criminal if I pick up that speech wholesale and deliver it, because then I would not have added my human ingenuity, right? So let it do the dirty work for us, and then we can improve upon it. And this is true for many paradigm shifts, as you said yourself, the invention of the internet, Google, Wikipedia. These things can be seen as challenges to us, but they will only be a challenge to someone whose intellectual laziness allows them not to rise above the level of machines. Because as humans, we will always be better than machines. We'll just have to work at it.
Yes, I completely agree with you. Like brain is a muscle,
Yeah.
so we have to utilize it, or maybe some exercise rather than we depending on the technology. They can do all of the stuff from our brain exercise. We cannot use our brain, so it become a useless.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So with that, we move on to the next segment. And Toastmaster Rabia, I believe you have a speech, and I had asked Toastmaster Imran Rana to evaluate that speech. So can you provide him with the project details privately? In fact,
Since,
provided
since she is the only speaker, can we evaluate her speech in
sorry.
just a minute? I'm forgetting something. Okay, Rabia, please share your evaluation. I was saying that since she was the only speaker, right? Can we evaluate her speech in an advanced format so that everyone can participate?
All right. But Imran, fine. That's perfectly fine. But you become the lead evaluator, and then we can go on commendation and recommendations. All right.
Yes, we can take one person.
I'm
As
not that well prepared for this speech. No need to go on advanced format on me today.
Now your evaluator has decided. Your evaluator had decided. So
Okay.
you can be one of the recommender, and Hiba can be one of,
Mariam Aftab is here as well.
she is here for the table perfection. Sorry.
But we can add her to the panel. Okay. So perhaps Imran, you are the lead evaluator. I and Hiba can do the recommendations. Sorry, commendations. And Daniel and Mariam can do the recommendations. Recommendation means improvement areas. Is that okay?
Yes. 1 minute means the.
Yeah.
And Ditendra, will you be timing me?
All right, I'll time you.
And the recommendations are the positive aspects or the areas of improvement?
Strong
See,
idea.
commendations are the positive aspects and recommendations are the areas of improvement.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Did you share your evaluation sheet?
I do not have it right now. Inspire your audience, Ditendra, if you can share it with Toastmasters.
Level
Okay,
3
okay.
project. Is it a level?
I think it was
Yeah.
one of the
Level 3 electives.
yes,
Level 3
elective project.
In-
It's an elective project.
Inspire your audience.
Yes.
Imran, it is very similar to the project 10 of CC manual.
Okay. The time duration
Would
is
you-
5 to 7 minutes. Yes.
Yeah,
So
time is
what's
5
the
to 7.
speech title? Just a minute. I need to check it.
I wrote it in the Zoom chat. I do not have my mobile with me right now because I had to give it to my kid so that he can do not disturb me.
No,
So-
what's the speech title?
Restart, recharge.
Restart and recharge. Okay, great. Fellow Toastmasters, and guests, today Toastmasters Ratia Zikhan will going to deliver her project from Pathways. Which pathways?
Motivational strategy.
Motivational strategy. The speech title is
Restart, recharge.
Restart and Recharge. Okay, it's so difficult in Ramadan to restart and recharge.
Yes.
So the purpose of this project is to deliver an inspiring speech. An inspiring speech. The time duration is 5 to 7 minutes. So Toastmaster Ratia is one of the amazing and inspiring speaker. Let's hope she does not bring ECF in the speech.
It's about TCF. I can't change it now.
Okay. So all the best. The stage is yours.
Yes, you can start.
Okay. My life began in 1982. I had a wonderful childhood. The best parents, good quality education. I had the most fun with my family, amazing siblings. I used to be a very active and energetic girl who always used to take part in all the extracurricular activities in the school. And apart from that, I was very good in my studies too. After doing my inter, I got admission in NED University, which is one of the best engineering universities in Karachi. I was in my third year when I got married. And in my final year, I was blessed with a daughter. And I chose myself to stay at home and look after my family. It was by my choice. Because I always wanted to please everyone around me. That was a thing built in me since my childhood. I wanted to be a good friend. I wanted to be a good daughter. I wanted to be a good cousin, you can say. And I wanted to help others in my class, in my family. And that is what I did even after I got married. I wanted to take care of my family. And that was by choice. So my life began. I had 2 kids one after the other, and they were raised as twins. I was busy with my duties as a daughter, as a daughter-in-law, as a wife, and as a mother. And life, slowly and slowly, life went on auto mode. I would wake up to take care of the daily chores, make sure that everyone is comfortable. I would even go an extra mile to help the family members, not closely related, but even the extended one, my khalas and pupos, but it was all about pleasing the people around me. And somehow I started to feel stagnant. There was no spark in my life. It was all going as if the same timetable was being followed every day, every year, for on and on and on. In 2016, I was blessed with my third child, my son. And it dawned upon me that all my responsibilities are back again. Taking care of the child, going through the preschool days, finding the best school for admission. And I could feel my energy draining. I could feel that I'm getting tired, not because of the physical work I was doing, but mentally and emotionally tired. I could not comprehend that. Is that all that I was made for? That Allah Mia only made me to take care of my family? Is that what I'm all capable of? I could see the battery signal going almost empty when I hit the restart button. This restart button was the volunteer form of an organization called the Citizens Foundation. I had been observing what they were doing since many years on social media, but I thought, I do not have time for this. But in 2018, I finally, when I felt, oh, I'll just crash if I do not do anything else, I hit that button and submitted the form, and I was selected as a Rehbar for the Rehbar cycle of the Citizens Foundation. So I took great steps. For me, as being a housewife and a completely stay-at-home mom, it was a huge thing to go on a Saturday, leaving my 2-year-old behind at home and informing everyone, even my parents-in-law, my husband, that, okay, I'm going out for like 8 hours and I won't be back, take care of everything at home. And I was feeling so proud when on my way in the car to the pickup point where I had to meet my coordinator, that, oh my God, I'm so important, I'm taking this huge step, I'm getting out, I'm leaving my responsibilities, and I'm like the Mother Teresa right now, I'm leaving everything. And I reached Millennium Mall, which was the pickup point where the coordinator had to gather all the volunteers. And for a moment, I thought there must be a picnic of students going, because there were so many buses standing over there and so many people. They were like, if I'm not wrong, I thought there were like more than 60, 70 people over there, and they were all very excited, like we are excited for going to a picnic. And to my amazement, these were the volunteers for the Citizens Foundation. These were students who used to go to university the entire week, or they were professionals who used to work 5 days a week, and on the one day they got off, they came here to do volunteer work. And I could not understand what was this until I went to the school and met these amazing class A students of the Citizens Foundation. I was of the view that I'm going there to help them, and I'll be doing something new. I'll be taking myself out from my family dynamics and stepping forward in helping someone else and doing something new. But believe me, it was the other way around. These children were the ones who re-energized me, who recharged me. They had huge dreams, they had huge goals, and the spark in their life and their manner to look at the future. They were the ones who made me realize that I had the ability to do more. I had the capability of doing whatever I was doing previously, plus additional things as well. And believe me, it helped me in my life forward. Now I am the coordinator for Rehber program. I am also leading another volunteer program, which is called the Bagwan Volunteer Program for the Citizen Foundation. I am an active Toastmasters. I am a part of the Karachi Toastmasters Club. I am the president of the TCF Toastmasters Club. And I am also a member of one other club, which I do not attend that often. I'm the area director as well. So if you are in your life feeling very low and that your battery is going down, do not hesitate to take the bold step. Join that paint class that you want to do. Join that music lesson that you wanted to do. Restart. Take control of your life. Recharge your life. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Now I hand over the charge to the chair of our evaluation panel, Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Rabia, I'm now envious feeling the way you mentioned your childhood, born in 1983, and you had an amazing childhood and amazing siblings. Means a childhood filled with lots of fun. It was a great opening to grab the audience attention, and then you brought your university life. Plus, you got married, and you had your first child, and the way you told us about the about how you feel stagnant, how you feel empty. People like you are the chosen one. I can say that are the chosen one, and you truly inspired us. Since the strong point of your speech is your sincerity, that uh, that 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 grab our attention, and we were truly inspired. So I can say that the objective of your speech is fulfilled. I love the way you brought your speech title restart. The it means when you went to the millennium and you hit the restart button. If you could brought the second word of your speech title, means hit the restart button and recharge my life, something like that, that would create an amazing impact. Throughout your speech, you were confident. Your hand gestures were perfectly aligned. Since you were you were delivering your speech in a sitting means comfortable mode, so it's perfectly fine. There is no issue. Your hand gestures were perfectly aligned with what you were saying, and during your speech, you use some great vocabulary like "dawned on me," and there were some other words, but I forgot to write. Okay, you mentioned that you are a member of Rehber and Bagwan, and you are an active Toastmaster, but you are not that active Toastmaster. You know what? Initially, when we were writing a story on ChatGPT, it was about you. Overall, it was quite an amazing speech. I can say that the speech was in proper chronological order, proper opening, body, and conclusion. It was difficult to find the improving areas, but I'm sure our recommendators will suggest you. So now I will request the commentators team for let me ask DTM Talha to share his evaluation about commendation.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran Rana. And Toastmaster Rabia, I believe that one thing that I love about the speech is the twist. The twist is that you're feeling like Mother Teresa and you're going to the TCF meeting and you're floating on clouds. And then you spot a lot of young people and you initially assume that they are here for a picnic. And then you're humbled by the realization that they're here for TCF as well. And this part gets me every time I hear this, because it is so inspiring that in multiple ways. First of all, it's an inspiration towards doing good for the society. It is also the realization that there are so many other people who are doing good for the society. And the third thing is that you should not feel proud for doing your duty towards the society. Rather, you should feel pleased with yourself. There's no harm in doing that. But a feeling of pride is what kills the spirit of service to society. This is what I loved about your speech the most. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DPM Talha. Now we are moving towards our second commentator, that is Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan. Hiba, could we have your 1 minute of commendation?
TM Rabia, you had a very interesting speech. However, what I thought was lacking was that you could have incorporated a bit of more vocal variety. You could have, emphasized certain points in a higher pitch and certain points in a lower pitch. That's about it from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba. So, can we request Toastmaster Mariam Aftab to please share her 1 minute of recommendation?
Sure. And thank you, Hiba, for that. I really appreciate Hiba's comment because that really helped me a lot. Well, Rabia, as my lead evaluator have said that we cannot point it out any weakness point or any point that we have found out that this was missing or that was missing. And that's true. Maybe because we have heard this speech and you have given this speech so many times at different platforms that hearing that, I know what will be the acceptance would be. So my recommendation would be try to add more points, or maybe your journey apart from TCF, the volunteer journey you have been doing. That is so inspiring. Every time I see your WhatsApp pull out, and I got amazed by all those things also. I said, how can this? Oh my God, no doubt you are a khala of our WhatsApp group. You know what is going behind everyone's scenes and all. But you are a very good, inspiring person. As in a sense that apart from TCF, you're not stopping yourself. There are many more areas that you're working on and we are not aware of. Why not that story? Because no one heard that also, right? So for the guest, I think that was new for us. That was old, and we have already scolded you on the recommendations many times, so you have improved yourself. But yes, I would like to compliment here Hiba that her points were very valid. Maybe some communication you should have added that might have helped you in vocal variety, and the person, the characters would be there because only you were there and no other character apart from these stories were there. So that's for now, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mariam. So could we have your 1 minute overall thoughts about the evaluations, Toastmaster Rabia?
I totally agree. And I especially agree with Toastmaster Hiba Khan because there were many points in my, for example, when I said I was feeling low, I could have lowered my voice and bring vocal variety, and I did not think of it. And when I saw the people, I was excited, so I could have used a higher tone. So thank you for noting that, and thank you for pointing that out. I'll try to incorporate it when I give the same speech again.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. But I must say that the overall speech was quite inspiring, and it gave me a food of thought that I should spend a day in one of your programs. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Rabia, for your wonderful and inspiring speech. With that, I would like to hand over the charge back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran Rana. I think this was a superbly inspiring session all around. First speech and the evaluation. And one thing that I've noticed, and this is ironic, the best and the most deep analyses and most cutting critiques come from people who have not given a speech in years. So with that, we move
but,
on.
but they are observing the speech from quite
So
a
observant,
You're
we are
not,
not even that observant. We are
you're
not
not
even that
allowed.
observant.
Okay, you're not allowed to interrupt the Toastmaster of the day.
DTM Tala, thankfully, I had switched off my camera.
Yeah. All right. So no, I was on. I was. Don't take it too seriously. I was only half kidding. So with that, I hand over the charge to our table topic master for today, and that is once again Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. She will be doing this as an active listening project, and of course, the theme of the meeting is human stupidity versus artificial intelligence. So and with
Paradigm
that,
shift.
everyone, yeah, and word of the day is paradigm shift. Everybody, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Rabia Zishan.
Just a quick question before I start my table topic. DTM Tala, could this word paradigm shift could have been used in my speech? Was there a paradigm shift in my speech?
It was a paradigm shift in your speech, but I don't think you used the word.
Yeah,
No, I did not.
don't.
I'm just thinking right now.
Yeah, no,
It
no,
could
no.
have
I
been
don't
used.
think you use it. Yeah, it could have been
Really?
used, but
But
yeah,
it would not have
there
mattered.
were points. There were points where you could have used it easily.
Okay. 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 Sorry. That was a mentoring moment right there. Okay, so AI versus human stupidity. And my table topics have now completely changed after that amazing, awesome keynote we had, education session we had on Chat GPT today, and how we can use artificial intelligence to improve ourselves. So my table topics will revolve around that. Please don't forget to use the word paradigm shift, not the word, but a phrase, because that it's the word of the day. And I would like to call Toastmaster Heba Khan for the first table topic. Toastmaster Heba, my question is, what will you use the Chat GPT in your life? If you have to use Chat GPT, for what purpose will you use Chat GPT?
Okay. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. If I'll use the Chat GPT, GDP, it's Chat Chat GDP or Chat GPT?
Chat GPT.
Okay, Chat GPT. Okay. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. If I'll use the Chat GPT, it will be for writing down my speeches, because that is a very good tool of, like as we've seen, as DTM Talha described it, it's a very good tool of improving English, as well as making things sequential. You know, it gives you a logic of every logic of how your thought process should flow in a speech. And by using the Chat GPT, I would not only improve my speeches, but it would also help me improve in, if I like to write articles or any sort of stories in the near future for any newspaper, it could help me in that. And that's about it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba. For the guests who have joined us, Table topic is the session where we do extempore speeches. I'll give a topic and you get 1 to 2 minutes to talk on that speech. The green light will show at 1 minute. At 1:30, you'll see the yellow light. And at 2 minutes, you'll see the red light. After 2 minutes, 30 seconds, at the red light at 2 minutes means you have to just wind it up and give it a summation. You have 30 minutes to do it. So my next topic, guest and future Toastmaster Ali Riaz, are you awake? Can you give a speech?
Yes, I'm
Okay. So
on
because you
onward
took,
to-
yes, because you were really active in the chat GPT session. So
Can you turn on your camera, Ali?
if it's possible.
if you want to see my messy room and
Yes,
messy my
yes, it's
share,
okay. It's totally fine.
We all are in similar
Oh.
situations. Great.
Rabia would love to see that.
I've already met Rabia in the PF museum regarding the fundraising from the TCF
The
Bhagwan
Bhagwan
program.
program.
Yes,
Yeah.
I came from with Faiza. Yes,
Okay.
I'm also a
Okay.
rapper program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So now I remember. Okay, so Ali, Ali,
Yes.
the topic for you today is, remember it's 1 to 2 minutes and try to use the phrase paradigm shift. What is one thing you believe that ChatGPT should not be used for?
Yes, ChatGPT is a paradigm shift from the person who is doing their daily job from a dirty work, but from a creative point of view, they cannot create a new product. They cannot strive your maybe creativity and the innovation side. They can use the previous data which is already installed in the database, and they can maybe making some connection. ChatGPT is a basically learning model, like we can make data gather and maybe a puzzles together, but it is not create a new stories like new tragic innovations product like so basically I think ChatGPT is just a tool which can help to enhance your creativity and your brain learning abilities, but it cannot replace human, because it is not a singularity is a term which we can use, that it is that kind of technology which replaces human. And but it is, I don't think so that it is now that it is a singularity model that it can easily replace human, because like I already basically mentioned some of the articles who talk about that things which cannot with things all of these things which cannot do by the chat GPT, like storytelling, like product prototyping, and I think I forget all of the other things which is mentioned in the articles. So yes, I think basically oh, how much time I left, by the way? Okay. So
Can you see the timer? It's yellow. Yes.
I cannot see. Okay. Yes, I think that's okay. Okay.
Thank you so much for that wonderful insight on how ChatGPT cannot work for creativity, or it cannot replace humans or product prototyping. That was a good insight. I was so gobsmacked by the speech DTM Tala gave that I was wondering, oh, it can do wonders. But you brought me a little bit back to by telling
Reality.
that reality, yes. It cannot create anything on its own and new ideas or replace the humans. Of course, that can never happen. And Toastmasters Hiba's speech, I forgot to I forgot I was doing the active listening. So I had written the points, but I forgot to tell. And you are very right that we can use ChatGPT for writing down speeches and for not writing down actually, but as you mentioned, Toastmaster Hiba, that we can put it in the chat GPT so that it comes in a perfect order as DTM Talha did. So that is really helpful in improving our English as well. And that's what I thought. Okay. So my next topic will be for Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. Toastmaster
Yes,
Mariam.
please.
Yes. For what thing in your house, because in your home environment, for what thing would you want to use AI? Would you like to take help from artificial intelligence for something in your
For
daily
sure.
chores?
Not in my daily chores, but this is the task that I do that should be included in my daily chores is answering my husband's question. For sure, this I will use. I want to use GPT. Go and ask her. Don't ask me. Because, my husband is an accountant. They don't ask, they inquire. They have this, I don't know what sort of thing. They want the exact answer, exact point, and what is in their mind, in their head, they want the answer. Sometimes I really get irritated. I said, tell me the answer, I'll give you that one. So if GPT can help me with this, that would be great. I would love to use GPT on my husband for his questions and all. Oh, then that would be the best thing that might happen with me. For sure. If this has to come with because she can't come and help me with cooking and all, and I don't want that. Fine. But yeah, with this, particularly with my husband, I want her. Please tell me what he's asking and what should I give answer to. And I want to see her expertise in this thing. I don't know if she's married or not, if she knows what we go through. But for sure, I'll use it for that purpose. I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. I think I would really love to know that. Let's do you can say a practical someday. Let's open ChatGPT and whatever the question the husband asks, we write it down and we see what ChatGPT's answer. We'll
I am
definitely
sure
find
he
out.
will. Yeah, he listens more to the map in the Google map in the car more than me. So he trusts the Google map more than me in the car. So if I say right, he never turns right. He asks the Google map. And when she says right, he moves right. So yeah, that's a big competition we have.
Hmm. It's a big competition, but I believe that I do hope that ChatGPT do not replace his spouses in near future for conversation, deep conversation. Mm, okay, one more, the last one. Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi. Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi, the word of the day is paradigm shift, and we are talking about AI and human stupidity. So, any incident that you know, because I know your background and everything, any incident that you know that a person misused the technology or didn't use it correctly and it turned out a disaster?
Thank you. For being partially in the educational environment, I would say that I just caught up with a case. One of my MS level student in a university submitted an article to me. And that article, I gave them an assignment, and the article by that student was amazing. I had to read it for 2-3 times. And every time I realized that this is an excellent article. And what happened was that I put many of those sentences in Google to find out, is it copied from someplace? Because it's a very easy way for a teacher of finding where it is copied. Put one sentence into Google and it will reflect where it is copied from. I put 2, 3, 4 sentences, couldn't find anything. I was very surprised. The new generation is an excellent generation. I discussed this case with my daughter. At that time, she pointed out a software to me, Quilt software. And she said that's an excellent software to transform one article, change its language, and you won't find anything possible. One version is a free version that simply changes the sentences. One is a $5 version. I paid $5. And I wrote that article, same sentences, same article, and said, change the sentences. Surprisingly, I was able to locate the place from where that article was mostly copied. And I believe that these softwares, artificial intelligence, you can misuse them to do anything you want. And I've just read another thing. You can write down a book on it because it will change everything and no one will be able to find it out. That is one misuse that I found. I want to do the same misusing for writing a book in future. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster and Fun Faruqi. Today, I think it's a day for me to be getting flabbergasted and surprised and godsmack and whatever the words we can use. If I may ask, can you write the program name, the app name? Quilt? Was it Quilt?
I will write it.
Okay. And it's really alarming how AI has evolved. But after listening to all your speeches and everything, I still believe that even for doing copying, even for cheating, we need brains. So it's not as easy as just putting something. We need to be able to write the correct answer, the correct question to get the correct answer or the correct whatever we are asking. So however AI increases or gets formulated, I think human stupidity can always make it go the wrong way. If we ask the wrong question and get a wrong answer, it can destroy the future or whatever the project you are doing. So, for example, if Maria Maftab asks the wrong question to the chat GPT, which the husband and asked, and it gives the wrong answer, it could create a situation at home. But thank you so much, everyone, for giving such insightful answers to today's queries, table topics. And it's always great
Just one thing, Ali Raza has already mentioned the name of the software in chat.
Okay. Quillboard. Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for enlightening me. And I feel ashamed to even mention that I did my graduation in computer science and IT, but that was long ago and I have no connection to it. And the technology has changed. I think what I did it's obsolete right now. And I need to do it again if I have to. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rabia Zishan, for the wonderful table topic session. I think we all learned a lot during this session. So now it's time for the journal evaluator session. And it is my honor to hand over the floor to our journal evaluator, Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan. Over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Evaluation is an important part of Toastmasters, without which any session is incomplete. Good and concise evaluation is the foundation of any speech. General evaluation is the third portion of the Toastmasters session. And general evaluation is divided into three parts. The first part will be the prepared speech evaluation, in which I will be calling TM Rabia Zishan's evaluator. Sorry. It's done. Okay, I forgot. Secondly, will be the table topic evaluation. After the prepared speeches. So overall the speakers were quite good. And I definitely need to improve my table topic speaking skills because they are quite rusty right now. And other than me, all the speakers were quite good and spoke well. And now for the third part of the general evaluation session, I'll be calling the facilitators who facilitated the session. So the first one is the grammarian, DTM Talha bin Ahmed. So can we have your...
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And don't have much to report because first of all, I had a 30-minute session, so I cannot comment on my own grammar usage. The word of the day, paradigm shift, was used quite a bit.
की आवाज ऐसी रहती है.
Sorry. Um, the word of the day, the champion of word of the day today is our guest, Ali Riaz, who uses 3 times. And I use it in the keynote as well. I'm not aware if anyone else use it. Other than that, there was some excellent usage in Toastmaster Rabia's speech, which was already covered by her evaluator, Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan, and Toastmaster Imran Rana. Some very inspiring sentences. And yeah, I especially liked the joke that you made about being Mother Teresa. It was very appropriate in linguistically as well as logically. And in addition, I think today ChatGPT demonstrated that it has absolutely phenomenal grammatical skills. I mean, the way it explained the changes that it made and the changes that it made itself to the story that we generated. That needs to be recognized. I don't know. I can't help but feeling, but think of ChatGPT as a person. I know it's not a person, but somehow I feel obliged to thank it for its input. So I'm doing that right now. Who knows? It may be listening to us right now. So, or the recording of this meeting is being fed by OpenAI to the database that is being used by ChatGPT. So if you're listening, AI overlords, we are thankful to you for your grammatical input on the story that we generated. Over to you, General.
Okay. Now for the R counters report, so I'll be calling TM Rabia Dishan.
I don't think the Toastmaster Rabia did because she took up another role. So no, we don't have the R counter report today.
Okay. And you've done the word master role. What about the listener? No, nothing.
He had a listener, but he did not join today, so we can skip that.
Okay. And now now it's time for my part of the evaluation. Overall, the session was quite good and brief, and we should, I don't know, we should pressurize the members to take up role because quite a lot of roles were missing, have not been taken up by the members. So we should politely pressurize them. And other than that, everything was quite smooth and the meeting was quite to the point. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
All right, thank you so much. So now I won't take much time. Both the prepared speakers exceeded their time, so there will be no voting for best prepared speaker. For best table topics, Toastmaster Rabia, I know you have to leave. Apologies for this. Just a few minutes. Can you recap the name of the table topic speaker so that we can float the poll?
Irfan Faruqi, Hiba Reis Khan, Ali Riaz.
Just a second. Irfan.
First one was Toastmaster Hiba, Ali Riaz, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab, and Irfan Faruqi.
Mariam Aftab and guest Ali Riaz. All right. Yes. Save and wait. Yeah. Okay, I'm launching it.
And all were qualified.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I believe the polls are done, but no, there's a lot of activity. And yeah, so in the final rankings, we have a new winner, and that is our guest, Ali Riaz. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Without any price.
All right. With that, having fulfilled my role as vote counter, I hand over the charge back to our president, Toastmaster Sahiba Reis Khan.
Okay, I'd like to have some comments from guest Ali Riaz. How did you find the meeting?
I find this meeting from in Facebook, social media. Yes.
No, I mean, how did you
How did I
session?
find? Yeah, how did I find the session? Overall session. The overall session is very much great. It's very organized and very structured way. Because because in my expectation I just assume that it is just a workshop maybe or seminar. Maybe the guest is speaking about the AI and the role of that English language, how we can relate that. But the Toastmaster is the first meeting of mine, so I think it is a great session. Very learning, very organized sessions, and each and everyone is very basically experienced in their role. They know how to do their role in a very effective way. So I thoroughly enjoy the session.
Okay. And Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi, can we have some words from you as well?
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I'm very sorry that I couldn't attend the session in time because I woke up after morning nap, and then I started listening to a speech by a person on Silva method, and that was something artificial intelligence relating to mind and mind sciences. Mind sciences are my favorite area. I've got training in that area as well. So I kept on listening it. It was a half an hour session on Silva method, and then I slept. And when I woke up, it was above 12 o'clock. So I had to rush for the meeting. I had planned to attend this full meeting, but unfortunately missed a lot of part. I will try to attend it fully next time. But the part that I attended was excellent, very well organized. Something I don't know why there are very few people here. Something new. It is an important area, important theme in the life. Maybe over a time, people will come here. Organizing a meeting with few people, giving them most of the responsibilities. Excellent work done by you people. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you very much. Keep me inviting, although I get late, but keep me inviting. Thank you.
Okay, and guest Manur, can we have some words from you as well? How did you find the overall meeting?
Thank you so much for asking. Well, sorry for being the silent participant today since I was not aware of the format. And after attending the session, I find it really great session. And a friend of mine recommended the Toastmaster to me, but I was not aware of how it works and how the public speaking is all about. So yeah, I found this session very great, and I hope to attend the coming meetings as well. Thank you so much.
Okay. Are the votes ready?
Votes have already been processed for table topics. So I think that was the only vote that were needed today.
Okay. And I guess with that, since all the announcements have been made earlier, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Can I ask, where do you raise your polls? I did not get any poll in the chat. Normally, in Toastmaster meetings, polls are available in the chat. There was no poll in the chat.
Yeah, actually, the poll was for table topics only. And we just used the Zoom poll today because the meeting is completely online. So that's why we use the Zoom poll.
Where did you use?
We just used the Zoom poll today.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not need because the meeting was completely online. It's not hybrid. For hybrid meetings, we use the Google form and the link.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. It was already adjourned. Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and see you all next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.